is going on. It's an invasion against stupidity. That's what it is.
Yeah, but I think that we have to realize that this is their last throws. They're throwing everything
Oh,
at the
yes.
kitchen sink to maintain power.
And they
We
going to
have
fight
to
hard.
yes,
Remember, we had a civil war.
right. The battle lines have been drawn. You are on the side of white supremacy, all in. And I'm not going to say there is a side that isn't all white supremacy, because let's be honest, this country is a white nationalist country. Let's just be honest about that. There's white nationalism that allows us to have a little something, something, and then there's white nationalism that says, hell nah, y'all N-words can't have a damn thing. Okay, so that's kind of really the spectrum that we're really all operating under, because we can't get that much progress. I mean, we haven't made that much progress by any metric. If you just look at the economic progress, if you look at the wealth gap, if you look at the health disparities, a number of things, education, and let's not even talk about criminal justice. We haven't made a lot of progress in there, but the battle lines have been drawn. And when you have somebody like a Joe Manchin and a Kristen Sinema saying that they don't want to break democracy by getting rid of the filibuster, what they're saying is they don't want to break the way democracy works for the white minority rule that's coming. They want to maintain that white power. That is their allegiance first and foremost. So what we have to do is we have to realize that white folks, white nationalists, are not going to have a crisis of conscience. It's not going to happen. And so what we have to do is to be more strategic. When we're talking about reparations, are we talking about cut the check, or are we talking about repair? Because if we're talking about repair, if we're talking about restoration, then we can be strategic about that. We can support strategic policies that get us closer to there. If you look at what just happened with the American Rescue Plan and the effects on child poverty, that has a disproportionate impact for the Black community. When you talk about closing the home ownership gap, that has a disproportionate effect on our community. And so what we have to do is we have to move away strategically. I understand on an emotional level, I understand on a moral level why people want to say Black and nothing else, Black and nobody else. But on a strategic level, we have to identify the areas in which we are hurting the most and support not only just the politicians, but the policies, and get educated on those, on how we close that gap. Because it's never going to be a time where, first of all, the Supreme Court has already put to bed any kind of federal strict racial quotas. Like, as close as you get is the Alaska Natives. If you look at all of the government, federal contracting and things like that, that's a very specific group that's called out. Black folks, not so much. So we have to realize the political reality and get smart and get strategic and push for those things that help get us closer. What President Biden laid out were things that get us closer. It's not repair in total, but it gets us closer to what we need. Now, we could go further. We could have Black and nobody else, but when we do that, that gets us nothing, because that's not possible. But what we got to do is we just have to get a little bit smarter about the specific things that we push for, and we can identify that don't necessarily have Black in front of it. Because if we're waiting for that Black, we're going to be waiting a long ass time. It's already been 400 years, and we're going to be waiting a whole another 400 years. So let's get what we can right now. You got over $1 trillion infrastructure plan. They're talking about climate change. We need some environmental justice in that. Every aspect, we need to get in on that. And we need to find out how we can direct that money towards our community, and how we can bookmark it and earmark it in a way that still passes the racial muster from the Supreme Court and government challenges, but we still get ours in the end.
Well, look, I